Hey guys, welcome back to Tell It To Trevor. I'm your host, Trevor Shelley, and today on my podcast we sit with
the one and only Sean Cruz, the guy who doesn't even need an introduction. There you go.
Alright, so this segment we have, it's called the First Bump. Do you remember the first time you took a bump in training?
Oh, absolutely. That was actually the hardest thing that I learned with wrestling. It's something you don't do every day. You know what I mean? It's something you got to get used to. And quite honestly, I was so worried about hitting the mat so I would wear a shirt and then they would have me cross my arms and grab it, and they would just pick me up and slam me on my back over and over and over until I got to, in my head where I would know, okay, if I let go of this rope or they push me and I hit this mat, it's not going to kill me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was 19 when I started, and I hadn't played any sports in college or in school or nothing like that. So I was not an athletic kid at all. That was the most physical, athletic thing I'd ever done.
Who trained you and what was that day like?
So we started out, me and a group of guys. We got trained by a guy named Hang Time Tony James, who I believe, still runs a company in Carolina here somewhere. And then, so he trained us for a little bit. We went to a local show and we saw he was there. We talked to him at intermission about it. And so, he started training us. And then he handed us over to a guy named Tracy Gilbert, who wrestles as Trey G. He's been wrestling 30 years probably. I believe actually this is his last year. So it was crazy going from watching it on TV and growing up and doing it. And to be quite honest, we did our own little backyard thing too for a little while before we actually got officially trained. And it was a whole lot different, but it was like. And I'm not one of those guys that ever wanted to be a wrestler. Like, it was never a dream for me. It was literally just hanging out with the boys, and we enjoyed it, but at the same time, it wasn't like any of us wanted to make a career out of it. Not until later on when we decided, like, hey, maybe we can. Because you got to remember, 2001 when I started, it was the land of the giants. I was maybe 5'6", 5'7" at the time, probably 125 pounds. And I'm not Rey Mysterio. I wasn't doing moonsaults and all the hurricanranas and all that stuff. So there was really no we're going to build a career out of this. So I didn't look at it from the standpoint of this is what I've always wanted to do, and now I'm here. But a lot of times I have to think back, because I've been doing this 25 years this year. And I have to think back about all the things that I have done and I have accomplished, even though it might not be everything I've wanted to so far. But to think about, where I started to where I am now, and the fact that, I get to live this dream out that some people will never get to do. So that's pretty cool to me,
Yeah. Did you ever think, what did I sign up for?
Yeah. There's times I still think that. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'll be 45 this year, and I'm like, I got to jump in the car and drive 9.5 hours on Saturday so I can make a show on Sunday in Florida, where I'll be wrestling for the first time ever at a actual real lucha show, which is so much fun. Yeah, plenty of times. Well, you always heard from my parents and your family and some of your friends who didn't support you. You're wasting your time. You need to get a real job. You need to this. Which, don't get me wrong, now I've always had jobs. I'm not a. There was a period probably of 2 or 3 years ago for about 6 to 8 months where all I did was wrestle. I was able to sustain myself then. But I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not just a wrestler. Yeah, there's been plenty of times, but I think if you're on the right path in life, that you should think that sometimes. You know what I mean? Because you're taking the step out and you're doing these things that other people are looking at are impossible or crazy, but everything's impossible until somebody does it, and then it's like, okay, I can do it too.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're on to locker room stories. What is the craziest thing happen in a locker room for you?
The craziest thing? Oh man, I don't know. There's so many things. A lot of stuff I can't talk about, probably for legal reasons. But and also too, what happens in the locker room stays in the locker room. I'm not one of those guys that exposes the business. Um, I'll just say I've seen a lot of crazy things. I've been involved in some crazy things. I mean, anything from fights with other guys, because sometimes things happen. People get heated. I've been in locker room fights. People not washing their gear and stinking up the whole locker room. That one's bad. I will say this now. This is a no-no to anybody. I don't know if they still teach this or not when they train people, but if there is a bathroom in the locker room, you do not go number 2 in there. That is disrespectful to use the bathroom in that capacity in the locker room with the boys, and the girls have to smell it. Go out there to the main locker room, take care of that before the show starts and the fans come in. I will say that.
Who is the biggest prankster in wrestling that you have shared a locker room with?
Probably, let's see. Well, the guys that trained me, they were pretty bad for pranks back in the day. But I'll be honest, I think probably the worst, not even just pranks, but like just crazy stuff we do on the road is, well, I knew him as KC McKnight when he wrestled with us, but he's Dax Harwood from FTR.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We kind of came up together, and I've seen him do some wild things, and I'll just leave it at that. But I mean, I'm sure he's gotten older, and especially with everything he's accomplished now, he may have calmed down, or he may not. I don't know.
What is a match that went completely off rails?
Oh God, literally just happened about a month ago. It was the same guy I'm wrestling for on Sunday. He done a lucha show in Georgia, so it was a 6-man tag. I'm literally the only guy in the match that does not speak Spanish. Like I speak English and they don't speak English. So there's no. So there was. Well, I'll take that back. There was a guy on our team who was able to translate for me, and he spoke Spanish to those guys. So they put the match together. We went over it. Everything was cool. And I'm telling you right now, one spot into the match, it just all went to shit, and it literally became not a shoot, but it became a fight. Like I got kicked in the face in that match harder than I've ever been kicked in my entire life. Luckily, I was wearing a mask, a rubber mask. Um, but yeah, that one went off the rails pretty quick and stayed off the rails. Chairs got involved and weapons, and that was never discussed. But you just kind of roll with it. The crowd loved it, the promoter loved it, and we got to the back. Everybody was cool. Nobody was trying to hurt anybody. I mean, me personally, I don't like super pretty choreographed wrestling. I never have. I mean, when I came up in 2001, that's not how it was. And I want to kind of feel like I've been in a fight after I've been in a match, and I want you to feel like you've been in a fight. Like, I'm not saying we're going to black each other's eyes and knock each other's teeth out, but like make a little contact. And when you grab me, like manhandle me, throw me in the corner, hit me with a really hard chop. Like make me realize that, okay, this is a fight, right? It fires me up. You know what I mean? I love it.
What moment in your career felt like the main event?
Wow. Geez, that was tough. Probably it's not even like a title win or nothing like that, because those don't really. I mean, I appreciate anybody who makes me a champion, but that's not what determines if you're a good wrestler or not, in my opinion. Probably. Well, there's two of them. One, I got to wrestle. It was in Charlotte, North Carolina, at a beer and taco festival, and there was like 5,000 people there. So got to wrestle in front of 5,000 people. That was pretty cool. And then on top of that, because I'm from North Carolina, Dorton Arena in Raleigh is like a mecca for us. Like, NWA used to go there. WWE's been there. It's at the fairgrounds in Raleigh, and like all the greats have wrestled there. So I got to be on a show in Dorton Arena, which was really cool. And it was only a battle royal, but I went out in there and I stood out in the battle royal, and a lot of people, came up to me and talked to me about it, like how great it was and everything. And so that was probably the one where it was like, okay, wow, this is pretty cool, you know.
What is the longest road trip you have done for a match so far?
So longest would probably be Illinois. I went and wrestled for a company called Destination Six. If you don't know who they are, check them out. They're unbelievable. They have a really cool venue too. It's like an old church, like cathedral, and they've still got like the stained glass, the pews in there, everything. It's really really cool. But it's in Macomb, I think it's what it's called, Illinois. So me and my buddy Roosevelt Conyers, yeah, we drove there. I think it was like 12 or 14 hours. Well, it was like somewhere in between there. So yeah, that's the longest trip I've had for me actually wrestling.
Craziest thing that happened traveling to a show?
Oh, easy. So a big group of us were leaving the Carolinas to go to Tennessee. We came through Georgia on the way. It was 3 or 4 in the morning, probably. We were all about delirious. We all had to, use the bathroom. There was nowhere to stop. So there was now, mind you, there was I think 3 carloads of us. So we just pulled over on the side of the road. Most of us like went up the hill up into the trees, and we were relieving ourselves. Well, 2 other guys decided to just stand there, right the street, and turn towards the cars and just do their business. So we're doing our thing, and all of a sudden, blue lights out of nowhere, and it's a state trooper, and we're all just like, "What in the world?" And so we just panic and run down the hill to get in our cars, and we're sitting there thinking, "Oh, he's about to come up here and get us for public indecency or something." And he gets over his loudspeaker, and I'll never forget it. He says, "Thank you for using Georgia as your public urinal." And then he cranks his car and he drives away. That's hands down the craziest thing that's ever happened on the road.
Yep, that does sound the craziest I've ever heard.
It was pretty wild.
The worst ring you have ever wrestled in?
Oh God. Oh man. Probably any boxing ring. I've had to do matches where the guy had a boxing ring, and they're not made. Not that ours give, and there's like some secret trampoline or nothing, because it ain't. It's not like that. But a boxing ring is not meant for you to be slammed in.
Yeah.
It's meant for you to fall after you've been knocked out or knocked down. So probably yeah, any boxing ring anywhere I've had to wrestle in.
How did your character come to life?
Well, that's the funny story because like that's the one knock a lot of people will say on me is I don't really have a character, and I don't. I mean, I've done so many things over the years, man. It's funny because Dean Malenko is a big inspiration of mine. He's the man of 1,000 holds. Well, I always joke that I'm the man of 1,000 gimmicks. And I think honestly, after all this time, that is my that is my gimmick. That I don't really know who I am, and I don't have one. So like, okay, I'm going to try this, and I'm going to try. Like I've done a Godfather gimmick. I've done underdog gimmick. I've done unfiltered Sean Cruz. I did superstar Sean Cruz. Um, Now it's just me. It's just, I'm a guy who, I'm a journeyman. I've traveled the roads. I'm not impressed by this new generation of high flyers and guys like that. And my job is to basically help prolong your career in a way, is the way I look at it. Like, I think the best villains are the ones that think they're doing the right thing. So, like Thanos in the Avengers movies, not the comics, but the movies,
Yeah.
he thinks that what he's doing is the right thing. And my whole gimmick now, well, actually, I'm just starting to kind of lean into it, is like I want to wrestle the high flyers. I want to wrestle the guys that everybody is like so high on right now. But I'm going to ground them and I'm going to beat them up and I'm going to do it for their own good, so they won't end up hurting themselves and shortening their careers. So that's kind of what it is.
If you could wrestle anyone in history, who would it be?
Oh, Shawn Michaels,
Sean?
100%. Shawn Michaels in his prime. Absolutely.
Who on the Indies right now would you love to face?
I've been asking for this match for, I don't know, 6 years, 7 years, but Mike Bennett.
Okay.
Mike Bennett. I love his style. I love his motivational stuff that he does. He's an awesome family man. Like he's a guy that I think I would learn so much from. Um, and he's not afraid to get hit. He's not afraid to hit somebody. So like that's to me that's the one. And it's not some big money marquee matchup. It's not gonna you know the indie wrestling dirt sheets or whatever aren't gonna go crazy over it. But it's something personal for me. So I've been chasing that match for years. Maybe I'll get it.
What promotion would you want that match to be in?
What's that?
What promotion would you want that match to
Well, to be honest, the promotion, and this ain't a knock on anybody else, that takes care of me the best and has really done a lot for me is KCW, Kentucky Championship Wrestling, out in Bergy, Kentucky. Jonathan Hampton and his guys, man, they're incredible, and they're just going to get better. The production value, it's like TV quality now. I mean, it's amazing, and people in that area don't really have a lot of entertainment, a lot to do. So, like, he's bringing something to the community that they desperately need, and that's really cool too. So, I would love to do it there. I mean, I would have originally said the Carolinas, but I don't know. I've been traveling a lot lately, and I like it better outside of the
be?
Carolinas. But yeah, KCW would be probably the best spot for that.
What mindset do you need to make it in the wrestling business?
Wow. Well, first of all, you got to be honest with yourself, right? You got to look like, am I really cut out for this? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not one of those guys that's like wrestling's for everybody because it's not. Not being a wrestler. Now, you can be a manager, a ring announcer, you can backstage, you can run shows, you can be a booker, so much you can do. But being a professional wrestler, to me, it used to mean something. It used to be like everybody couldn't do it. But now everybody's getting let in. I mean, there's plenty of guys that are in professional wrestling right now that do not belong, 100%, and I have no problem saying that. But you have to be honest with yourself, I think, first off, and
Yeah.
say, do I really belong here? Am I wasting my time? Am I dedicated? Am I going to do what I think a professional wrestler is supposed to do, which is train, go to the gym, have a good diet, study tape, respect the business and everybody who came before you. To me, that's what a professional wrestler is, not a glorified acrobat or a gymnast. But I think that's number one is, do I really want to do this? And what am I willing to do to chase this dream? What am I willing to sacrifice to try to be a wrestler? You know?
What keeps you motivated during tough times?
Say that again.
What keeps you motivated during tough?
What keeps me motivated during tough times?
Yeah.
My fiance, 100%. If I didn't have her, man, it's there's those days where like I've got a T-shirt line that says "I'm enough." And that's personal. That's personal to me because, like, I've always struggled with mental issues, depression, whatever you want to call it, just like a lot of people do. And there's days where you don't feel like you're enough, because other people make you feel that way. But you have to know that for yourself, and it helps when you have support and somebody always pushing you and telling you that. But I'll tell you what else is discipline. Everybody talks about motivation. Motivation is great, but when motivation runs out, discipline will not let you fail. Discipline is doing something that you hate, but doing it like you love it. Once you get into that routine of like, this is what I'm doing, that's what it's about. It's discipline and consistency. That's the key to life, in my opinion.
What separates good wrestlers from great ones?
I think, well, honestly, we're a business, so marketability. Like, if you're marketable, you're going to be considered a great wrestler. Um, a guy said once, "Do you want to be known as the greatest wrestler of all time, or do you want to make $1 million? Because it's really tough to do both.
Yeah.
Like, so Zack Sabre Jr., right? Fantastic technical wrestler. No marketability, no charisma. In my opinion, will never be a world champion anywhere that is one of the big ones. You know what I'm saying? Um, but a guy like Danhausen, who comes in WWE and now he's like selling all this merchandise because he created a character. You know what I mean? Look at what's his name, Jey Uso, before he started the whole Yeet thing. You know, he was just a tag team guy and he was just another guy, and that's what took him to that next level. So number one, you got to be marketable. You know, you 100% have to be marketable, and then you have to be able to connect with the audience. You have to be able to connect, and you have to have psychology, and you have to be able to tell a story.
All right. So the next segment we have is called Finish the Promo.
It's called what?
Finish the promo.
Okay.
The sentence is, at the next show, the crowd will be ready because.
The crowd will be ready because. Well, simple. The crowd will be ready because they're going to get to witness the greatest wrestler ever put on God's green earth, and that's Sean Cruz, a guy who's not worried about flash and dash. He's just ready to smash. I'm going to show you what a real wrestler is supposed to look like and how a real wrestler is supposed to conduct himself. I'm going to ground all your high flyers, and I'm going to smash your fan favorites. And when it's all said and done, I'm going to be standing with my hand raised.
Yeah. How do you tell a story during a match?
Well, it just depends on what you're trying to tell. I mean, I think one of the biggest things to me, outside of probably Gunther in WWE, there are no clear villains anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody's afraid to be a villain. They're afraid to be a real bad guy. I'm not. It is my job. I feel like when I go to these indie shows to make kids cry, and to be quite honest, it usually happens. Like I don't, you know what I mean? I'm a villain. I'm not there to do cool moves. I don't want you cheering for me. I don't want you writing signs for me. If you want to buy my merchandise and my T-shirts, that's great. I appreciate it, but that's not my job. My job is to come in there and to dash your dreams of your hero, your hometown guy, you know, winning the title or winning the big match. Yeah, I'm a villain. I'm damn good at it, and I love doing it.
What is something fans don't notice about ring psychology?
I think it's so lost now because of places like AEW where they focus more on the spots and the chants and really like interacting with the crowd, which is great. Don't get me wrong, because you've got to interact with the crowd. But these guys try to put, and indie guys do it too, they try to put 5 or 6 moves in a little spot where I could do one move or throw one punch, eye gouge a guy, whatever, and then turn around and go talk a bunch of crap to the crowd, fill the same space, the same amount of time, do less, and get a better reaction. I think it's hard to look at a psychology or telling a story when you don't have a clear good guy and a clear bad guy. Within 5 seconds to come through the curtain, they should know, oh, he's the bad guy, he's the good guy, we should cheer him, we should boo him. But it's so hard, especially on the indies now. Like if you, it's I see a lot of guys put clips online. If you ever see any of my clips I put up, I want people booing and making noise the whole time. If not, I'm not posting it. You know, I'm not going to post something where we're trading strikes and you duck something and I grab your arm and put you in a headlock and you shoot me off and you leapfrog me and then you drop kick me or something. And then the crowd's like, and then they stop.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you post that? I don't understand that. It's to me, it's about a reaction. Like if I'm a promoter or a booker and I'm like looking for new talent and I'm looking for a heel, don't send me video of you doing moves. Send me video of you getting your ass whipped for one, so I can see how you sell, and send video of you getting reactions from the crowd, actual heat, not cheap stuff. I mean that's just the way I see it. I'm an old guy, so my views are a little bit different than some.
What indie promotion should fans check out?
What indie promotion should fans check out? Oh, wow. Well, like I said earlier, KCW, Kentucky Championship Wrestling, is a great one. FWE, Fortitude Wrestling and Entertainment out of Cary, North Carolina, another really good one. I don't work for them, but AML in, I guess, Winston-Salem is their base. And not because I wouldn't work for them. I haven't been booked by them yet on the main show. Great place, great people running it. I'm talking they pack out 8 to 12 to 1,500 people on indie shows. And then they run WrestleCade, of course, in Winston-Salem every year, which is the big 3-day convention where whoever you want to meet, they're going to basically be there. Ric Flair, Sting, if they're still alive, anyways. Those are really cool places. Man, outside of that, I don't know. Just check your local. Just get out and watch a good indie show. And I say good indie show because there's so many out there that just absolutely kill wrestling and kill the town, and that's a whole nother conversation, though.
Who is the most underrated wrestler right now?
On the indies?
Yeah.
Underrated. That's tough. Well, I like Richard Holiday a lot. I think he's done amazing things with social media. He kind of followed in Matt Cardona's footsteps with that, and you saw what Matt got him back to WWE, which is great. I think he's definitely somebody that's underrated. Even though he does have a lot of eyes on him and clout, he still should be higher than he is right now. But as far as like on a local level, a guy I personally know, Blade Brown. Blade Brown is out of Firestar in Pro Wrestling in Greensboro. He just had a WWE tryout. I've shared the ring with him. I was there with him when he tore his pec, and he had to go through all that and his surgery and like that. He's fought hard to come back and to be where he is, and he absolutely deserves to be where he is. Another guy too, which I mean, he's WWE ID'd, but Jaquan McNair, man, that kid is going to be a superstar. He was trained by Lodi from Ravens Flock out of Charlotte. He is going to be a superstar.
Yeah. Who is going to be the breakout star?
The breakout star? You saying as far as like maybe get signed to breakout or?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just mentioned Jaquan. I mean, that kid, he is freakish athleticism for a guy his build and his size. Because I mean, he's jacked. This dude's big. LeBron Cozone, speaking of Greensboro, he just got signed to MLW, which is absolutely amazing. So I mean, technically, I guess that would make him a breakout star. Which I mean, LeBron's been grinding for years. I mean, he really deserves it. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm trying to think. There's so many talented people. JAC out of AML.
Yeah.
Jesse Carter, he's another one. He's been to Japan and back. Chase Emery's another one. I think he just got back from Japan. He's also trains with Lodi and those guys. The Carolinas is a grab bag right now of like who could be the next breakout star. So I guess just pick one.
What championship is on your bucket list?
Championship. Like I said, I've never been a championship guy. I mean, like it means something when the company thinks you're the guy, right? You're the guy that's the face of their company and is going to help elevate it. But I'll be honest with you, and I've said this I think before in podcasts. There's a lot I've done in the wrestling business as far as titles and championships goes, but there's one thing I've never won, and that is a trophy, whether it's from a battle royal or a tournament. Never won a trophy. So as far as championships go, I just would like to win a trophy before I hang them up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we have this segment called Trev Shock. It's really a little bit for the fans to get to know you a little bit.
Okay.
So first one is your signature moves.
Well, first of all, I can't say that I might get sued by Richard Holiday. No, I'm kidding. I got one that I've been doing for years. I've never put a name to it, At one time, I called it the Magic Eraser because of my bald head. They used to call me Mr. Clean all the time, so I thought that was a funny way to do it. But it's basically a leapfrog over the guy's back into a Faymaster.
Okay.
So like I would boot them, take off running, hit the ropes behind them, leapfrog over their back, turn sideways, drop a leg across the back of their neck. So I do that one. I've got a corner move I do too, where I'll whip the guy in the corner. I'll hit him I'll follow him in a line. I'll give him a forearm, a chop, cravat, face buster on the knee. When he pops back up, I do a snapmare. I hit the ropes and then do a basement drop kick to his face.
What is your theme song?
It's actually one the guy I got done that was custom. It doesn't have a name or anything because like a lot of places I work, they shoot for like YouTube or TV or whatever. So you have to have like non-copywritten music. But before that, I was using "Love the Way You Hate Me" by Like a Storm, the Australian rock band.
Shoutouts to the sponsors of Apple City Championship Wrestling.
Nice.
And then, if you guys like to save money on protein powder or energy drinks, we have promo codes with W Energy, save 15%. Promo code Tell to Trevor. And then Ragin Ape, save 15% with promo code Tell to Trevor. What is the most interesting place you have visited?
Like because of wrestling?
Just in general.
Oh, just in general. Wow. Well, I've been to the Bahamas twice. We did a cruise. It was okay. Um, Interesting place. Man, that's tough. We've been to a lot of cool places. Getting to see a Philly and do the Rocky Steps was pretty cool, and seeing the Liberty Bell, that was pretty neat. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank because I've been so many places, but those would probably be the top two that stick out.
If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Wow. Dinner with any historical figure. Would I have the knowledge that I have now when I have dinner with this person?
Nope.
No. Because I was going to say George Washington so I could let him know just where this country was heading.
I mean,
No, not to get too political, but yeah,
yeah.
probably that one.
Yeah.
Or maybe Abraham Lincoln and say don't go see the movie.
True. Or Kennedy.
Or the play. Sorry, the play, not the movie. They had movies back then.
Or Kennedy getting in the vehicle.
Yeah, or Kennedy getting in the vehicle. Yeah, or have tell Hitler to pursue his painting career.
True. What is your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, dude, I'm a karaoke fiend. The one I've actually won competitions. The one that always wins for me is Shinedown's version of Simple Man.
Okay.
That's the one I always kill it with. But as far as getting the crowd going, I'll either do like Ice Ice Baby, Vanilla Ice, or like maybe MC Hammer Can't Touch This, or even like Eminem. I do something that people don't expect, you know.
Yeah. What is the best piece of advice you have received?
So the best piece of advice, I actually kind of figured it out on my own a few years ago, and it's really helped me out a lot in life. It's helped me keep friends and relationships because basically I stopped expecting myself in other people. And by that, I mean, if, say, I was to get you a wrestling booking,
Yeah.
not because I expected you to get me one in return, but just cause like, hey, there's a spot, I'd like to, I'd like you to come work here, whatever, whatever. But then in return, just not expecting it. But if you didn't get me one, now used to, I'm not gonna lie, I would be like, well, that's messed up. But now it's like, well, you're not me, so I can't expect you to act the way I would in certain situations. So you can't fault people for being who they are. You can't get mad at somebody because they're not you. You know what I'm saying? So because of that and taking that philosophy, I've learned to like understand people and let a lot of things go and not take things so personal. Also, I go where I am appreciated, not tolerated.
Yeah.
That's a big one too. That's a huge one.
All right. So we have this segment we just started, I think, 5 episodes ago called Treboom. It's rapid fire questions,
Oh wow. Okay.
but you got 2 minutes to answer.
Okay.
Let me make sure this. Yeah, timer set up. Okay. You ready?
Sure.
Coffee.
Say that again.
There we go.
Oh.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee. Well, energy drinks, but coffee.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Dogs or cats?
Cats.
One thing you cannot live without.
My fiance.
What is your go-to comfort food?
Go to what?
Comfort food.
Asian, Chinese, Japanese.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
What is your favorite way to relax after a long day?
Playing PlayStation.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
So you did not beat the record, but
Ah,
you were 3 seconds off.
what's that?
You were 3 seconds off.
Damn.
Mr. Algo Neal has the record.
Okay.
What is your weirdest childhood nickname, and what is the story behind it?
The only childhood nickname I ever had was Mikey Sean.
Okay.
Because my real name is Michael Sean, which is funny because Shawn Michaels is like my idol, and he was Michael Sean Hickenbottom, and I'm Michael Sean Thornton is my last name. So when I was growing up, there was a Life cereal, which there's still a Life cereal, and the kid in the commercial, his name was Mikey, and they said, "Give it to Mikey, he'll eat anything." Because when I was a kid, I'd eat anything. So
Yeah.
it just so happened that they called me Mikey, and then my grandma, because we're Southern, it was Mikey Sean. So that's pretty much the only nickname I've ever had. Other than asshole. I get called that a lot, so that must be a nickname.
Your life had a theme song. What would it be?
I'm still standing. Elton John, 100%.
What is the strangest food combination that you enjoy that others might find odd?
I don't know. I'm not a very like strange combination type dude. I mean, now don't get me wrong, I enjoy some like ice cream and pickles. That was a little weird, I guess.
Mine is if you go to IHOP, you order hash browns and then do the blueberry syrup on top.
Oh, I gotta try that. That's a new IHOP hack. I love IHOP. I know we're on the road all the time. It's always like Waffle House. If you're lucky, you get a Denny's, but IHOP is rare, and I love it so much.
I know. I think next season we're starting up. We're gonna try to rip off Malcolm with his what is your?
Oh, with the Waffle House order, you gonna do
Instead,
what?
we're doing IHOP because I was
Oh,
like,
dude, you got to hit me up for that. I can give you an IHOP order, especially
but
they got them protein pancakes now. Oh, so good.
well, it cracks me up. I ran into a WrestleCade last year, and I was like, oh, I should go what his Waffle House order is because it probably changes after everybody's order. But I was like, I don't even go to Waffle House. Why would I even ask him that question?
Yeah.
Like I live between 3 Waffle Houses and I never go to them.
Yeah, we call them the awful waffle.
Yep. Um, what advice would you give to someone that wants to be a wrestler?
That wants to what? I'm sorry.
That wants to be a wrestler?
Don't. Just don't. Straight up. There's so much more in life. There's so much bad that goes on in the wrestling business and the politics and the backstage and the cliques and the heat. It's I'll put it this way: if you hated high school, don't become a wrestler because it's 1,000 times worse. 1,000 times worse.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Sean Cruz.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And then where can they find you on social media?
So my Facebook is just Sean Cruz. The Instagram is at official Sean Cruz. My X, which I don't really use that much, is at Cruz Can't Lose. And then TikTok, I think, is at Sean Cruz 81.
Okay.
So
Alrighty. And we will see you guys on the next episode because I can't remember who it is. Because I got to record with him in 2 hours, and I'm like, he's on the calendar. Just don't know his
who
name.
is it again?
Well, after I've already done like 5 episodes already before this one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right, guys. We will see you guys.